Good morning, my friends. I am here to work on my December daily, and I'm still behind. Of course, that's not a surprise since I didn't make it until December 2nd. But I just kind of threw it together and didn't put lace or ink it or anything, so I'm not worrying a lot about those little details. I'm just trying to get down the memories. What little ones there are. I try to capture the ones of my grandchildren if they come by or send me pictures or something, because just my life alone is not that exciting. But it's been fun so far. I've not done one before, and so I think I'm up to, let's just look here, here's the title page. Okay, and this does open, which I'm not going to open it right now. We'll open it at the very end for the flip through. Okay, and then this is the title page, and then this is day one, where I use the old vintage napkin on a glassine bag. This was very old. They were super yellow, and I got a whole pack of them, and I'll use them in my Christmas books this coming year. And then I just did a tag of a sled. Here's a sled here. So I just did a tag of a sled out of a vintage book, and I filled out Denise's little time card with my name, and I just put shopping at the vintage shops in Claremore today. And so I guess I should write on there that we got a great haul that day too. I'm kind of, when I journal, I kind of journal short. But look at these angels. How precious are they? And I had told you guys I was dedicating this book to my grandson. Now, on day one, we also got my vintage table that had been redone or refurbished, and we had to go back. We had to go back the next day, and you know, that's how we ended up with all the lace. But anyway, so I finally got my pictures printed off this morning from my sprocket. I went ahead and stamped some behind with blue and pink, and I haven't done any journaling on this, but I'm just going to get the pictures in. I'll hold that up so you can kind of see it. You know, Sprocket makes small pictures, which I thought would be better for this. Now, and I want you to notice too that I did put cardstock behind my pictures because it was coffee stained paper, and I want to protect them. So on day two, we decorated our tree. And I'm really into the whole stocking thing, and I haven't journaled on it yet. Whenever we get through with the video, I'm going to catch up on all my journaling. But I wanted to put up the Christmas pictures and the stocking pictures, and of course they're all mixed up here. We watched our grandkids last night, so I've got some. I just kind of took the pictures and picked the ones I wanted to use. Okay, now, this is quite a few pictures. But, you know, sometimes they turn out good and sometimes they don't. So, I've got for day two, I've got this space and this space. And if we have to put them somewhere else, we can. So, let's start off with the tree. Now, I don't have any gifts wrapped yet, but here's the tree with the stockings. And I don't take my Thomas Kinkade down during the holidays. I'm just afraid it'll get, so it kind of looks odd up there, but I used to put a big picture of the nativity. Here's where the stockings start. It's not the best pictures of the stockings I've got, but it's how they look this year. And let me find the second picture. This is the second group of pictures of stockings. And I put all the newer ones to the center and put my husband and I on the end because ours are pretty dilapidated. There's Charlie's in the middle. His is a snowman. And let's see. This is our, I made a village for our family back many years ago. It's 30-something years old, and I painted all the buildings and did everything. So we put it out every year because it's kind of tradition. Here's maybe a little bit closer look of it. I don't know if you can see. On this little, let's see, let me find it. On this little building right here, it says Bynum Country Store. So we have our own country store in a make-believe land in our living room right now. And this is an angel. My husband did put up all our lights this year because last year it just about killed him. He put up so many last year that he was exhausted. So I just told him to put the angel. We have a corner area in our front yard just to put her there. But she lights up and it's beautiful at night. This is a daytime picture, but she really is beautiful at night. And she was our newest addition to our yard lights last year. And probably will be the only one used for now on. You know how that goes. So, because this is notebook paper, I've got to mat these to put them on here. So I'm thinking we probably need to mat with, I don't know, I got this free book. And I'm going to see if there's anything in here we can mat with that's in the right color scheme. I really don't think it matters because this is a non-traditional color. Here's some music sheet. I don't know how that would look on the red though. Really need something green or blue. We did blue on the last pictures. But I'm looking. That peach is pretty too, but it's a little light. Could always do white with polka dots. That would be cute. There's a green. Let's just use this green. Okay. Like I said, this was a free book, and it's called Vintage Girl. I ordered for my next book that I'm going to be starting. I might as well tell you today that I've already got it started. But, you know, there's a new motion picture coming out by Disney. And it is titled, let me find it. I've got it right here. It is titled Mary Poppins. And I've had this Mary Poppins book. My daughter found it for me in a vintage shop. It was 29 cents originally. It's a little golden book. Here's the side, because I put teapots on there because there's a point in the story where they talk about teapots. And they call this a jolly holiday, but it's not Christmas. They go to, you know, like a fair type thing and ride carousels. So I got the only carousel paper that I knew of, and it was by Maggie Holmes. And it was okay. It wasn't out over the top beautiful paper, but anyway, so I've got her cleaned up and got the little white florals on here with the teapots. And so this is going to be a cute little book. Now, I've already got the papers cut out and some of the sewing done on the papers. And so that's how far we've come. When it comes time to decorate, I'll pull you in on the project with me. Okay, now back to the pictures. I thought we'd go ahead and put these pictures on real quick. And I'm going to kind of scoot that over. And that way we can, the nice thing about the sprocket is all your pictures are going to be the same size. We may not get all these on here. We should definitely get the one with the Christmas tree, right? Listen, I used this glue. Don't use it on your pictures. I used it on one of those, and it's too wet, and it kind of curls up your paper. And I don't want my book to be all curled up. So I'm just going to stick with the old Fabri-Tac. When you're doing something that's more special, you definitely want to use what you know will work well. And we know Fabri-Tac will work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue these down and try to get them as even as I can, and small as the mat as small as possible, so I can get more on here than one at a time. And then I will start with the stockings and get those down. The thing I love about the Fabri-Tac, it can be a nightmare, but it does dry flat and clear, and your pictures dry smooth, and they're not all lumpy. And so why change a good thing? I know that they're expensive. That's the downside to them, but I've decided to sacrifice. To me, the hardest part with using Fabri-Tac is the fact that, you know, it's expensive. So you always want to use your coupon. And so I think we're only going to be able to get 3 pictures at a time on here. But that's okay. I hope you guys are having a good Saturday. And making lots of goodies, or shopping and getting something accomplished. That's what my husband came up to me a minute ago and said, it would be okay if I bought you something for Christmas if it's something that you haven't asked for. I'm always scared when he says that. I don't know about you ladies, but that's kind of a scary statement coming from your husband. He said, it's nothing you can use in your craft room. I said, oh, I said, I don't really need anything outside of my craft room that I can think of. And he won't give in and tell me what it is. I said, honey, you might want to tell me what it is. And he goes, oh no. I'm going to have to get another piece of paper, excuse me. And he says, oh no, I can't tell you. That would ruin the surprise. I'm like, yeah, it would, but you could save returning it if it's horrible. I said, the only way I can say I honestly would love that is if it was a 1-year plan to a monthly massage on my achy body. I said, I can get into that, having a massage once a month. My sister does that. Her husband gets it for her every year for either her birthday or Christmas. And she says, I love it. She said, and she won't let him do any deep pressure on her because she says she's too frail. It hurts her, in other words. I'm the person that wants the deep tissue, and then I can't walk for 3 days. Or can't move for 3 days because, you know, it's that good, bad kind of feeling. You know, you love it while it's going on, and then you regret it later. So, I'm trying to get some of this glue that always comes off. Trying to think now, that's 4 pictures, but I still want to hang up all the stocking ones. So that's just one of the stockings. So we'll do the stockings for sure. The stockings are a big deal in our family, and evidently PJs are too, because I tried to stop the PJs this year for the kids, except for Charlie. you know, because he hasn't got to do PJs every year, and he's little, and he's the only one that is now. And they all just were like, that's tradition. And my daughter-in-law said, well, you guys don't even wear them after Christmas. And of course, that wasn't a fun thing for the person buying them to hear. And that's not the point. The point is, it's what they expect when they come to Grammy and Pawpaw's at Christmas. And so I guess I'll be shopping for some pajamas sometime this weekend. My husband's out running errands right now. And when he does that, it can be an all-day thing. He'll be in and out 100 times today. I'm trying to get this glue off of here. I'll get my eraser out after they've had a chance to. Feels like I'm getting glue on my. And here's the last one of the stockings. I told you there's 11 stockings. You can't really see in this picture, but Rick and I and my son and daughters are really old and thin. I mean, they've really gotten thin over the years. And, you know, they didn't make them as well in the beginning when they made these little felt ones, which would take me all year to make one. I think the one that took me the longest was Charlie's, because during the whole time I was trying to make him his snowman, I kept knowing, well, he's not going to be here this Christmas, so I have another year, and then he's not going to get to be here this Christmas, so I'd have another year. And so, you know, it took me longer than the normal. Okay, the only one we have left is this angel, so I say we just put the angel on there. But we've got to get another piece of paper to do that. Let me see. I'm just going to do like this, and that way we don't have to cut it out of the book. That saves you having scrap paper everywhere, if you know what I mean. I was too lazy to dig out scrap paper this morning. I wouldn't have even had to get into this book, but do you know how many 6x6 books I have? More than I'll ever use in a lifetime. Although this is a cute one. It just has little simple images on the papers, and it's a cute little thing. So I was glad to see it come along. I'll probably use it some in my Mary Poppins. Okay, so let's just go ahead and cut this one out while we're here. And I am not going to worry about these being perfectly straight, even though I had my cutter out. I think freehand will be just fine. And maybe a little ink around each one will be good. I'm going to move this cutter out of the way. I had good intentions in the beginning. You know how that goes. I hope you guys are doing a December daily. I know a lot of you were making them. I would love, you can send me a copy of how yours is coming along if you want through my Etsy conversation. I've had other people send me things through there. And if you ever need to contact me, you can contact me through Etsy conversation. If you need to tell me anything that you don't want to announce to the world. And also you can show images there. So, no, I didn't put that one over far enough, it looks like. We'll figure it out when we get to it. Yeah, I'm not the greatest at just doing straight cutting. But I just want a little bit on here just to protect the photo. Okay, scoot that over. And we're going to go to this one next. So they may be a little bit cattywampus. The pictures, that is. I mostly am just trying to protect them. Like that one, I got way too thin. You know what happens when you do them way too thin, then you think, okay, I got to do them all thin now. And then before you know it, you can't even see the paper. Okay. There we go. I kind of like the thin look. We may have to go back and do that. So, most of the lace in my haul was not dirty, and it did not smell dusty. It did not feel dusty and dirty. So, I decided rather than taking a chance of anything falling apart on me, I would just look at the situation as I use them. And I'll cut off any stains. And now, if it's something that has a lot of stains on it, I will do something with it. At the time, I'll wash it in the sink or something mild. But I looked at that and I thought, that's a big undertaking. Whenever I got it all out of the packages and saw how much it was, I was like, I don't think so. I think I better pass on doing that. I'll not get any more journals made if I do that. Be spending and I'm like in really bad need of tea stain or coffee stained paper right now. I don't know when I'm going to get it done, but I need to. Or it's going to be super low here on me pretty quick. I think I have enough to do like 2 more books, so that tells you how low it is. I decided to go ahead and go thin because it will protect the photo and give me more space on my paper. So some of these might have to be overlapped a little bit. Boy, I got some of these on here crooked, didn't I? Yeah, when I finally got the last stocking made, I was a little on the sad side because I'd been making stockings for, 5 grandkids. It was like bam, bam. Well, I did the parents first, my son-in-law and daughter-in-law, and then started doing the grandkids. So I was making stockings constantly. I could almost do it in my sleep. And the thing I like about the felt stockings, I know a lot of people don't like them because they're not as glamorous, but the love went into them, and the hours went into them. I mean, I stitched everything by hand, and I could go buy a really cool looking one, but now if you make a stocking in general, like my daughter-in-law made some really cute ones. They had like the living room they had at the time looked real kind of log cabin like, and so she did some of the coolest stockings. She made them out of brown and green corduroy, and you wouldn't even think of that, and they turned out so cool. I was wishing I had them. That's how I do, though. If someone has something really cool, I want it. But then I don't always run out and do it. But I'm just saying, you know how it is when you see something cool, you're like, oh man, I want that. That turned out so awesome. So now I'm pulling my my pictures over here. I'm going to get them in order. And let's see, they go like that. And like this. That's those. And then the angel we'll put over here. And the tree. So I think we need to start off with the tree. I really should have thought of a way to put the tree over here. I mean, I don't have to use the tag for this one. It would have been cute to kind of have, when you have this many pictures, you know, to kind of have them coming out of your pocket. And maybe still could have the tag. We'll see how much room we have, and if we have any left over, we'll put them in the pocket. Okay, so let's start with the Christmas tree, since my Christmas tree is here. Get my glue going. Oh, you know what? Before I do that, I just need to run a little bit of ink around. Not a lot. It's just going to be like a smidge of ink. Just on the very edge, because it will make a difference on how it stands out from the other color, which in this case is pink. Anytime you put something behind your photographs, and it's going to pop. If you ink, it's going to really pop from the other paper, and it just stands out and becomes the it becomes the star of the page. I know that sounds goofy, but it's true. Before, it just kind of blended and looked like part of the page, but then it becomes the star once you make it noticeable. I have one more here. And then I also have an idea of something we can do to make, I thought I put the cardboard under there. I've been using my little template that I use when I make little golden books underneath, so it makes it a little harder. But I think what I'm going to do is go right down here where it has the tree standing up in the middle of the air. Let's kind of make him look like he's sitting on something, so he doesn't look so much like he's floating. All right, now we can glue the pictures down. Put the lid on this ink, because this one might take a little longer. Okay. So we'll do the Christmas tree first. I wish, and I know some of you might know how to do this, but I feel like anytime I make a book, they don't want to lie flat. This type of book just does not want to lie flat enough that you have to have something to prop it down. So I'm trying to keep my pictures as far to the right as I can, because I don't want them down on my spine, because that just makes them that much more bulky. Do you know what I mean? So if you can keep things from being glued down into your spine, I think you'll be happier with your results. Okay, so now down here, we're going to put our first stocking, if I can find it. There it is. Now it's going to overlap our little tree. What do we do? What do we do? We won't have enough room if we don't overlap the tree. I could bring it down and over a little bit. Or, see, because if you do it like this, now if I did the angel, because she's the only other one that's in the upright position, we could put her here. And it is a little out of order, but that's not a big deal. Let's do that. I think you guys are thinking the way I'm thinking on that, because It's either do that or I won't end up having enough space. If I could ever get caught up, it wouldn't matter, because then I'd have all the space I want, because obviously I didn't even count the papers when I put them in here. I always count them when I make a book to make sure you're getting a fair amount. But I didn't even count them. I just kind of threw them together and hope for the best. Okay, now this one is going to go down into the spine a little bit. Not much of a way not to get it down in there. So I'm going to sit here and hold it for a second. How many of you have already bought all your food for your Christmas dinner? And a second question is, how or what, I guess I should say, what are you fixing? Are you fixing a turkey, a ham, hens, you know, something different from the traditional? A lot of people do a ham at Christmas because they've done turkey at Thanksgiving. Well, I don't cook for Thanksgiving. I have, but my son and his wife, they have a tradition on her side of the family where you get together for Thanksgiving. You know, you can work Christmas out, but you get together for Thanksgiving. So my husband and I have always been, that's great. That's a great tradition. Go for it. We'll just eat at Luby's is what we used to say, or Piccadilly. Do you guys remember those places? Okay, now we're only going to have room for stockings here. But we're going to, let me look. We're not going to have room for, let's make a page that comes off of here. How's that? Let me grab another pink sheet. And what we'll do is we'll just we'll just make a hinge. Excuse me. My nose is. My nose is not liking the dust. Okay, let's see. Trying to see how, oh, I know how big I cut that. The same as I would a little golden page. Let's see, probably we will need one more sheet. So we don't have to have a whole lot. So let's make a little hinge here first, and then let's cut it down to the size for the paper. There went my hinge across the room. Let's see if this is going to be the right size. If I cut, no, it's not. Would you look at that? I cut it the opposite way. But you know what? It can go on this way, can't it? It's kind of interesting looking, actually. Okay, so let's just do it like this, because it's going to give us plenty of space. We'll just cover up that section and be done with it. Be happy we had paper. I'm actually getting low on my pink paper. I like to use school paper in my books. I don't know about you guys, but I do, because it gives you some lines. And okay, let me move the cutter. I'm going to fold this over here. And I know you guys are having a hard time seeing because I don't have enough room with all my junk here. Let me move this over. Move my little button strands over. I'm going to fold this in and make like a hinge. It's about 1 inch wide. And I think instead of bringing this up to the top, I'm going to bring it down to the bottom. And we'll hinge it from the bottom instead. which some of you may be thinking, I don't like her doing it that way. But I kind of do, because I was going to be left with a lot of blank area. And I like the odd sizes, and one page being this size and one page being that size. I like that sort of thing. Okay, you want to make sure you bring your hinge all the way out to the edge so that whenever it's time to open, it will open freely for you. And I'll show you what I mean. See, when it opens, you want it to open flat out. If you push it too far in from the edge here, it won't. It will not open out flat. I'm going to trim this little bit off right there. Now, I'm going to put some glue on the top hinge. It doesn't take a lot on this, so you can just do a little thin, quick, fast layer. Now, let me think. I think I'm about to do this wrong, so I'm thinking for a second. I got to do it this way. Okay, now, you just line it up with the edge of your paper. Yeah, that's better. Now, obviously, we don't want this all in here. But if we want to fold this back and hang on to it until we know for sure, that would be the smart thing to do, because we can always cut it off, right? Okay, so we've got our Christmas tree. We've got our angels, which now I wish I'd waited on the angel, but that's okay. So we're going to move over here, and we've got this side here. I am going to go ahead and cut this off. It's just going to drive me crazy. So I'm just going to cut it off. And the nice thing is we have a nice straight line to go by. But that doesn't mean I'll cut straight. See, look, it's not perfect. I am not good at cutting a straight line. Now, I can do better when I actually have a line to follow. But, okay, so now let's do the stockings. We'll eventually get them done. We're going to do one here and one here on this outer flap, and then we'll do the rest of our pictures on the inside. And I think it's going to come out perfect, guys. Okay. I was looking at this yesterday, and I was thinking, man, you're going to have a lot of pages left over. Well, no, I'm not, because you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to put all my Christmas photographs in there. And if I want to write a little something about them, I will. The thing about December dailies that I've always thought, I've not done one, so I don't know, is that you don't really know. I mean, if you buy one of those pre-made ones that you can get, you know, I'm not knocking those at all, but I think it's more fun when you make everything. You are limited. I mean, they give you like 1 or 2 pages a day, and that's it. So that part I don't like, but come on, let's get down here. And I've been watching a couple other people do their December dailies, and they're doing a great job. And watched Gail's the other day. Gail, you crack me up. She had me crying. I can't remember which day she was working on, but she is so funny sometimes. She cracks me up. She is very enjoyable to watch. If you have not watched Gail, you need to get over there and watch her. She will get tickled, and before you know it, you're tickled. And everybody's laughing, except you can only hear Gail laughing on the video. And it's just, she's just funny. I love watching her videos. Okay, now we're going to flip this out, see, and we have all this extra room. So I think what we'll do is over here, we could either journal right here and put these 3 pictures right here. I think that's what we should do. What do you think? Or do you think it's too crowded? Maybe we'll put... We can journal about the village here. And then I could put this here and journal. That's what we'll do. That way we have plenty of room for me to write in what I want to say. And so Charlie has had this thing about, you know, he's a boy, and so he's at this whole, you know, he's gonna die, you're gonna hurt him, he's gonna die. You know how boys do. When they get guns, and he doesn't play with guns, but, you know, boys are always about shoot 'em up, and he's no different. And he was wrestling around with his pawpaw, and he said, am I killing you? And then my granddaughter and I were talking about me having my birthday is coming up on the 15th, and she says, Grammy, how old are you going to be? And Charlie says, are you old? And I said, yes, I'm going to be old. I'm going to be 62. And he says, Grammy, that's old. He says, you die when you get old. You're not going to die. I said, no, not any sooner than I have to. I said, Grammy's not that old. You know, I just kind of blew it off. But it just is so, he's so fascinated by things dying, you know. Like they got some, I didn't ask my daughter what he had to say or if she even showed it to him, but they ordered 8 chickens. You know, they live on some land, and so they want just enough chickens to produce eggs for each day, and so the kids can have the experience of a little bit of farming type thing. And well, Ashley's husband had to go to Egypt and for some work, and while he was gone, she sends us a picture. She says, every time Kenny goes out of town, something happens. And so she sends us this picture of this little chicken laid over, and he wasn't napping. And she said, I couldn't believe it. The one day she says, now I have to bury the chicken. I don't know how the kids did. I didn't ask her. The subject didn't come up, but you know, so he knows it's real. It's a real thing. And he said something else really funny last night. I can't remember now. But he's comical. He's a funny little guy. He loves, for us, we have this circle area in our house where you can run in a circle, like through the small kitchen dining room where my new table is, and around the entry hall into the kitchen, into the living room, and it's all pretty open. And he loves for you to chase him, and he always has socks on when he's doing it, you know. And I'm always like, slow down, you're gonna bust it. But he had Pawpaw would run one way, and he's laughing the whole time he's doing this, you know. He thinks it's so funny, and he's laughing the whole time. And at one point, my husband got me, my husband's name is Rick, and he got me, for my birthday early, he got me a leg massager, because I have, you know, this neuropathy problem in my legs, and Anyway, and it sure feels good. So he wanted to get in it. And he's been, some of the problems he's had has been his joints recently. And I'm like thinking, okay, his legs are too little for it to really squeeze them. So I let him get in it. And he sat there for the longest time on his papa's phone playing games. And he would say to me, Grammy, this sure feels good. So cute. I wish you all had the opportunity to meet him. He is a riot. He's a funny kid. All of my grandkids have different things about them that crack me up. Look at that. That is so cool. We made a little tip-in, kind of. And so we've got day 2 done. It's only day, what is today? It's only day 8, and we finished day 2. I think we're doing pretty good since we decided at the very last second. See, this is the reason I don't like putting pictures or anything down in your spine, because you get this little gap. Now, it's going to bug me, so I'm going to have to figure out a way to get up under it and put something. I'll get some double-sided adhesive or something. And so, there we go. So, we have officially, besides the journaling, finished day 2. Now, over here on day 3, there wasn't any pictures. So, all I've got to do is journal. And I'll journal on this tag for that. This little book, this little part will be journaling about Charlie because of the angels. Okay, and then on day 4 was about my daughter, and she came by to visit her dad and I, and the most recent picture I have of her was on Halloween. Her and Charlie were at the Cincinnati hospital. And Cincinnati, they are so good that if a child misses any kind of holiday or whatever, they're going to make it special. I'm not going to show you all the pictures. I only printed the one of her and Charlie in the costumes. So it's going to look kind of odd, but you'll see. She has a mask on. And Charlie's got a sucker in his mouth. But I've got some of them. They're the Incredibles, of course. And the hospital just made a big deal out of the whole thing for him. And so they were out in the hallway, and they have I have all these pictures of them in all these different positions that the Incredibles would be in. And he was having the time of his life. And you would never know in this picture he was in terrible pain. But this is my daughter with a mask on. But it is the most recent that I have of her. And we were doing this page because she came by to visit her dad and I. And she has dealt with angels a lot this last 3 years. And we feel like she's our little angel too. Now, where am I going to put this picture? Because it doesn't. Maybe we'll have to come over here. Let me see if I know I glued the back of that down. It could go inside here too. I think it could, don't you? We'll finish journaling, and I'll leave it sticking out enough that you know that there's a picture in there. Especially since it is kind of a fall picture, but that's okay. And I wrote on here angels out beside the first A, angels, and Ashley Ann. And that we love her. And so I will end up journaling probably on something and gluing it on here and sticking it down in here where the picture sticks out. And I did add a little bow to our heart that we stitched. So that page is pretty much done. Now, December 5th, let me see what day that was. This is a day that I just spent the day trying to catch up on all of this. December daily stuff. So we're going to skip it for now because I have to take some pictures of my room so you can see what a mess it is. Because that's why it's a mess, is because I've been working on this. I've been working on design team. I've been working on all my haul that came in. I've been working on Mary Poppins, and I mean, stuff is everywhere. I don't usually let my room get that bad, but so that day I went for a stress test, which has nothing to do with much. It was normal. But then I worked on catching up and trying to pick up a little bit in this room. So we're going to save that page. And this one with the picture we'll save too. So we're over here, but really I don't want to cover these pages. So we'll go over to, this is going to be page 5 right here. And so we need to find page 6, right? Page 6 was Thursday. What did I do on Thursday? I know I have notes around here somewhere. You know what? I left something out over here. Let's go back. You know where I added the tip-in? Well, I should have added another tip-in. I didn't leave enough space is what it amounts to. So, what do you do in a situation like that? I wanted to incorporate, my son had sent me some pictures of him and the kids. You know, I could do like Gail does, and she just flips them out and flips them out. So that's what we'll do. Let me get another pink piece of paper. That works, and we're learning from that. But this is what you can do whenever you choose a small page and you need a big page, you know, is you just make it bigger. So what we'll do is we'll come down here, not that far out, but, you know, the page width. And this time I'm going to measure it and make sure it's in the right direction. Okay, and I'll cut those holes off of there. Let's see. Let me get my pencil under all this stuff. I knew I was forgetting something on the day we decorated, but I couldn't remember what it was. I'm going to cut this to the side because there's nowhere to put it on my table. Okay. And I'm going to cut off this other portion here. I need to have enough room for, let's see. Let me go ahead and cut off enough for a tip-in. That way we know we have everything we need when I get back over there. You wouldn't believe the trash on my floor too. It's embarrassing. All right. In other words, I would not do a video of my room today because it would tell the truth. Well, not really, because I am really pretty good at keeping everything organized in my room. But, you know, I worked on a lot of Christmas books, and it took a lot of time to do that. Okay, now I don't want this to be down in the crack of the book either, so we're going to kind of bring it up a little bit, which means we might have to cut it off a tiny bit, just a little. Now, have I ever overlapped tip-ins before? No. So I'm thinking we'll have that one on top and this one underneath. That's what we'll do. Okay. Let me get the glue going here. Might have to cut our paper down some too, because I'm not sure. And I'm going to do this one where it goes down. And again, you want to get it pulled all the way to the edge. Okay. All right. Just want to make sure the glue's off here because this is one of those situations where you would find yourself gluing your book shut because it's right in the corner. I got right up today and started printing my pictures, and Rick started running errands, and I told him to go eat breakfast. I like to send him to go eat breakfast on Saturdays because he loves it. And if I feel like it, I'll go with him. Or if I'm up and about, I'll go with him. But today I knew I had this to do, and I was like, man, I need to get this done, or I'm never going to get caught up. Okay, so we're going to cut one line off. And where we go from there, nobody knows. No, we're going to put glue on here. This book is going to be very much chunky monkey. Okay, and now we want to put our paper. Let me make sure we're doing it the same direction as the paper. Okay. You want to bring it all the way to the edge. Just like that. And hold it just for a second. Okay. Oh man, we didn't get any leakage or anything. Yay us. Okay, now I'm going to see if I can get this little angel to stay on her side of the book for a few minutes. I need another pair of scissors. Let me get another big pair of scissors. These are my new Tim Holtz I haven't used yet, but they make great paperweights. Let me make sure you can see now before we get started. Okay, so this is the Christmas pictures and the rest of the Christmas pictures here. And here, and the reason these are all getting put together is because my husband and I decorated for Christmas on Sunday let's see, what day was it? The 2nd, or Saturday the 2nd. My son sent me some pictures of the kids at a place called the Pop Shop. And it was just a different kind of place. And he had also sent me one of them at the Tulsa Zoo. So I don't know if they did it all the same day, but I think the Tulsa Zoo was another day. So I'm going to set it aside, but I'll show it to you. This is my son's 3. Hope you can see that. This one is Elliot. He's 15. This is Alaska. She's kind of fell over with her jacket wrapped around her. She is 11. And this is Oliver. He is 13. Now, Lucy, you'll see her in some pictures here in a minute. She's a month older than Alaska. And they are close. Okay, so I'm going to move that picture to the side. We may end up having some place to put it. But, okay. So this place was called the Pop Shop, which I don't know what that means necessarily. But I'm thinking, do we put it on the outside or do we start it here on the inside? I'm missing a picture. And you'll see why I want to find it when I do. Let me look on the floor. Oh, here it is. It's unusual. See the big bottle of pop? And this is them standing down here. And my grandson, my oldest grandson, Elliot, he's the long one. He collects pops. Different bottles of pop and so forth. And you can see in this window there's pops. So they did that on December 2nd. Or, no, I get so confused. The 2nd. Because we're working on, what day are we working on? We're working on the 2nd. Yes, they did it on December 2nd. That's why I had to add the tipping in. Okay, so we're going to put this one here. And this one here. And then we'll flip it over and we can put the others. Or, you know what? Yeah, let's do that. Let's do this. Let's do this, and I'll just title it Pop Shop in Oklahoma City. Now, I've got to put these on some paper again. Now, I think what we need to do with these is a different color so that we recognize that it was a different activity. Do you know what I'm saying? I've got to find my little pad of paper. Oh, and then here's 2 more they had taken, but now my granddaughter, my youngest grandson in these 3, he didn't. This is Alaska. You can see her sweet face. And this is Elliot, the oldest, being very serious. I guess these statues were there too. But Oliver didn't do it. He didn't do the statue. He didn't want up there to do the statue. You know how that is. Sometimes they're too cool for stuff like that. All right. Now, once again, we're looking for paper. Here's some that is striped. It kind of has the same color scheme, so let's go for it. All right. And I'll put titles of these places in here when I journal. Like, you know, the Pop Shop or whatever. These little pictures are size 2 1/4 by just barely over 3 1/4. No, not 3 1/4. Yes, just barely over 3 1/4. I have a sprocket. They're not the greatest pictures. They're not pictures you would get from having them sent in to someplace nicer. But I can print them at home on my sprocket, which I got at Amazon. I like it. Let me show you what it looks like. I'm going to have to finish up here, guys, after this. Mine is red. Mine, when I bought it, was the newest model. I don't know if they've come up with any more since. But I really like it. For stuff like this, especially. Because I will still have these pictures developed and put in their scrapbooks at some point. Question is when? I don't know. Never know with me. Okay. All right. I'm trying to hurry because we're already at an hour, guys. I'm sorry. I just realized it. Ran my mouth too much. I feel like we've really been working, though. Not much mouth running going on. I'm going to go ahead and glue one of these on there while we're at it. Each time we come on to do a video, though, I will back up and show you the last few days. And then at the end, we can do a flip through. But it might not be till I get all my photographs in. Because I am slow at that sort of thing. I think I had a little bit of blue paper left, but I don't know if it was enough to do a whole picture. Over here. Nope. We'll figure something out. Okay, so I'm just going to lay these out and let you see what they look like laid out. And I'll glue them down after we get off the video, because this video is going to be so long if I don't. Going to have people griping at me. I don't want people to just jump past my channel because it's so long. But I'm kind of like Gail. I don't know how to edit and all of that. And I'm at the age in my life, I don't want to be rushed. And, so I feel like I'm doing good just to get through it, to do an hour. Okay. One more. My cutting is not beautiful on this because I'm hurrying. I actually cut the whole thing off at the bottom of this picture. Oh, what can I say? Okay, so we're going to flip this out, okay? And we're going to put the picture of the two boys here at the top and the picture of the bottle here at the bottom. And I will journal for part of it here, and then I'll do an arrow to show. And then this picture will be here. And where's the other one? Oh, my word. Anyway, it's the, oh, here it is. It will be here. Okay. And then I'll try to get the journaling done to get me caught up to that. I don't know if I'll be able to or not. But the main thing is that we get the pictures done. I'm keeping my notes. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's December Daily. I hope you're working on yours. If you are, send it to me through my conversation section on Etsy. I'd love to see what you're doing. And then if you haven't subscribed, please do. We try not to just drag it out, but sometimes it happens. And we get involved is what it is. We get involved. So you guys have a good weekend. If you could give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed today's video, I appreciate it. And subscribe. See you next time. Bye.